Unmute
Start video അല്ലേ?
start video.
Hello from Mumbai, from your
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here to celebrate the book launch of Sri R. Rajashekharan, his first one, a collection of poems. I know there are many people who have logged in from different time zones across the world. Welcome you all to this auspicious ceremony. Before we move on to the function, we have another pleasant ceremony. The author is celebrating his birthday today. Let's wish him very best and many more such occasions. Wishing you a happy birthday, Rajashekharan sir, and wishing you all the goodness and Godspeed. God bless you. We will start the function with an address by Govind Shekhar, son of Rotarian Rajashekharan. Let's watch the welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, on behalf of the poet, Sri Rajashekharan, I, his son, would like to invite you all. Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, on behalf of the poet, Sri Rajashekharan, I, his son, would like to invite you all for this book release function. The sequence of events would be as per the invite already circulated. We would commence with the address of C.A. Venugopal C. Govind, who is a senior finance professional, as well as the former managing partner of Messrs. Varma and Varma, and the current chairperson of Kochi Kendra of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. After Sir's address, we will hear from the chief guest, Robin Selters, a poetess all the way from Australia. After the chief guest's message, we will be having the inauguration of the book by noted author and ex-bureaucrat Sri N.S. Madhavan. Post the book release function, we will hear from eminent well-wishers of the author, Sheila Reddy, noted author and journalist, Gitanjali Kapoor, poetess, and Srimati Susi B. Varghese, the former Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. I would like to thank you all for being here. It means much to the author's family and much more to the author himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Govind. It's time for the presidential address from Venugopal C. Govind sir. He is one of the most respected chartered accountant and finance professional in India and a multifaceted personality. He was the youngest district governor of the then Rotary district, comprising of southern states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala of India and the entire Sri Lanka. He had been the member of the board of directors of many corporate entities, governing bodies of many chambers of commerce and trade bodies in India, member of expert advisory committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, one of the most sought after orators. He could speak on any subject, professional, educational, leadership, literature, and so on. Currently, he is the chairman of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Kochi Kendra. Let's listen from Sri Venugopal C. Govind.
I am so happy that my good young friend Rajashekharan has brought out his first book, a set of 50 shorts with lovely poems. These poems have their innate beauty in them. They also have fine qualities of good poetry. The poet's intense emotions, imaginations, inspirations, experiences have all been expressed in beautiful lines. As we go through them, we get fully absorbed, excited and enchanted. We get to know of the vastness, of the diversity of the themes and the depth of the ideas that the poet has brought into them. He opens up by describing the little lovely child Krishna whom we all adore, love and worship. He explains his childish pranks and heroics and requests you, O Krishna, lift the wheel of Maya in me, the inherent confusion in the minds of all of us. No doubt, the Lord has instantly blessed him immensely as we could see from the rest of his poems. The title poem on the dewdrop and the banyan tree, the tree clings for a while, looking at the little dewdrop dancing on a leaf, whether it could take its place for a moment to enjoy that freedom and joy. The glee that he experiences as his little grandson plays in his lap. Even as he enjoys that, he becomes philosophical and thinks for a while whether the little one could be his own father. His lovely poem, Memories, dedicated to his parents, bring out expression of his deep love and affection for his parents. The happiness that he felt, the glee that he enjoyed as he takes his morning stroll, looking at the greens and lovely blossoms of flowers. His words remind us of those beautiful lines of golden daffodils of Wordsworth himself. Beyond admiration with which he observes the little architect and engineer, the mud dauber making its own cool mud nest, perhaps gives us lessons that we too have to learn, many from these little creatures of the Lord. The poet's pain, anguish, and anger are deeply expressed. As he observes, in his words, a bunch of monsters coming from nowhere and cutting down the trees which used to be the abode of lovely several birds, not destroying them, but doing immense harm to the nature and ecology itself, and express through the minds of the blade of grass that have grown under the tree, wailing that it has lost its permanent protection and shade. All such touching poems bring to us to a feel of realization, awareness of life, its situations of the people, the nature and the world around, and our own life itself. That is the power or excellence of the words of literature, poetry, its language and diction, which Rajasegaran has brought in immense measure. He closes his poem by saying that or singing that poems have found a new joy of life for him, and that it will go on till the ink dries up. We are sure the ink is not going to dry up that very soon. And the good Lord will bless Rajasegaran for many, many years and decades of healthy, happy, satisfying life to pen down many such lovely poems from his gifted pen. May God be with you all times. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of inspiration and encouragement for the new poet around the corner. Our chief guest, Robin Selters, is joining from Australia. It's around 10:30 p.m. there. She's joining at this late hour to suit our schedule. Her ability to make moments in life or heartfelt thoughts into magnificent written pictures is amazing. Her poems are excellent and exceptional reading experience. Ramachandran Rajasegaran view her as his poetic mentor, and her writings always amazed him with the mastery of crafting. They both exchange views beyond the realms of poetry into spiritual, philosophical, and other topics. She is respected as a poet of higher caliber and a friend who is always willing to listen and has a way of getting right to the heart of almost any subject. Robin Selters is not just a great poetess, but a kind person to stay back late to speak on this occasion. We are experiencing connectivity issues, and though her video is not visible, the audio quality is perfect. We are trying to resolve the issue. In the meanwhile, please listen to her.
Dear friends, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robin Selters from Australia. I feel so honoured to be the chief guest on the happy occasion, the launch of the book of poems, Dewdrops and Banyan Tree. I came across the author of these poems, of Ramachandran Rajasekharan, in recent years and came to like and respect his poetic skill. Raj often conveys his feelings through engaging tales using elegant and fitting metaphors. His poems reveal kindness and compassion for his fellow humans, whatever their origins or standing in life. Raj has a rare insight into the workings of the human mind and heart. He does not shy away from telling it as it is, from revealing the struggles and dreams common to all of us. I'm in awe of how Raj captures the nuance and layers, and indeed the very essence of what it means to be human. Friends, if you would like a rewarding journey through the window of fine poetry, one that reveals remarkable courage and perception, please enjoy the works of this modest and intelligent poet, whose notable writings and personhood embody the highest principles of living and a genuine nobility of spirit. Raj, I believe your poems will stand the test of time and be enjoyed by many now and for generations to come. I'm happy to be with you all and wish Raj every success and my blessings on this auspicious occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words of encouragement to this new poet around the corner. Now it's time to release the much awaited book. We invite Sri N.S. Madhavan to release the book. Sri N.S. Madhavan is a well-known Indian writer, known for his novel Lanthanbarile Lutinies of the Dutch Battery, and a host of short stories such as Higuitia. He also writes contemporary columns in newspapers covering various subjects like social, travel, and football. He is a distinguished fellow of Kerala Sahitya Academy and a recipient of several major awards. He retired from Indian Administrative Service after holding several senior positions at the central and state level. Over to you, sir.
Namaskaram. Friends, we have gathered here from all around the world, thanks to technology, to release a collection of poems called Dewdrop and Banyan Tree, written by Ramachandran Rajasekharan, or Rajesh, as his friends and relatives fondly call him. Rajasekharan is a natural poet. Poetry came to him suddenly and unexpectedly a few years ago. He was overtaken by poetry and started writing. If poetry is soul to one's life, then Rajasekharan has drawn the window curtains of his mind and allowed ourselves to peep into the marvelous world of his thinking. It is the irresistible pull of writing that made Rajasekharan to pen these lines. In his poems, which are very tactile, you can touch them, make you ruminate over little joys and profound thoughts of life. There's a touching poem about a little boy ogling at a snack at a shop window. There's another poem in which poet, quite philosophically, looks at ripples in a lake and thinks that they don't try to outpace each other. In the last poem of this collection, Poetry and Me, Rajashekaran mentions about the change poetry has made in his life. He was observing world in a new life. The faces in a crowd at an airport look different. And as Rajashekaran says, he has found a new joy in his life. With these few words, let us celebrate the poet and his collection of poetry, and we congratulate him and also thank him in allowing us to partake joy of his thoughts in this collection of poems. It is my present duty to release Sri Rajashekaran Ramachandran's book of poems, Dewdrop and Banyan Tree.
Thank you, sir, for releasing the book and inaugurating the function. Now we have Gopal Shekhar, son of the author Ramachandran Rajashekar. He will recite one poem included in the collection of poetries. Let's watch that video.
And banyan tree. Once the banyan tree softly asked the little dewdrop dripping from his shivering leaves, "Tell me, dear child, you ain't bright in joy, beginning from birth. As you dance down, I do not see a shadow of grief in your sweet and short life. Living so fruitfully, your wetness pinches my thirst, merging into Mother Earth. Mighty and branched out, can I ever dream of a life short and sweet as yours?"
Thank you, Gopal, for sharing the poem. Now we have a couple of associates, well-wishers, wishing Rajashekar the very best. Let's hear from Geetanjali first.
Hello from Mumbai. I'm Gitanjali Kapoor, known by my pen name Laughing Soul in the literary world. It's an honor for me to speak about a writer par excellence, yet such a humble and modest soul. I met Mr. Rajashekaran only recently on allpoetry.com. And today, on the launch of his debut book, I extend my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to him. May the fragrance of dewdrop and banyan trees spread far and wide across the ocean. So, with this, I want to read a couple of your poems, and I know they will speak for themselves. I'm going to read this from your book, Dewdrop and Banyan Tree. Who art thou? The nymph who visits me in my sleep to caress my throbbing legs. With the warmth of liniment in the golden goblet you carry. Can I see you once in the light of this twilight? Before my eyes are covered by the black carpet of sleep. Who art thou? Such a short brevity, yet it holds so much of depth. And I'm sure everyone is going to love your poetry. I have already reserved my copy, and I look forward to hearing more of you. I want to also read a poem which was, in fact, one of the first of yours that I read on All Poetry. This poem goes by The Fish Fry. The fish fry and the meat curry still tingle my tongue. Salt and chili at the right mix, crisp or soft, delicious. I still remember my mother sitting across the table, serving me the slices or spoonful. She smiles, satisfied, seeing me relishing the food and tempting to have more. 100% vegetarian, mother cooked without tasting, just for me. I instantly connected with your words on reading this poetry. Even in your 60s, the innocence is reflecting in your words. With this, I once again wish you good luck and congratulations on Dewdrop.
Thank you, Geetanjali madam, for your words of encouragement. Now it's time to hear from Ms. Sheila Reddy, who is joining from Hyderabad. Sheila Reddy has written extensively for leading Indian newspapers and journals during her 35 years in journalism. In her last job as books editor of the news magazine Outlook.
I've known Rajesh since he came into the family some, I think, over 30 years ago. And there were different aspects.
Sorry for that interruption. In her last job as books editor of the news magazine Outlook, she wrote on diverse subjects, including politics, history, culture, literature, biographical sketches, and interviews with significant men and women of the subcontinent and beyond, and change makers everywhere. Her writing has also appeared in literary magazines and in several anthologies. Mr. and Mrs. Jinnah is her second book. Her first was a compilation of essays and profiles by Kushwant Singh, Why I Supported the Emergency. Let's hear from Ms. Sheila Reddy.
I've known Rajesh since he came into the family some, I think, over 30 years ago. And there were different aspects of him that we got to know when he came into the family as a very efficient professional, as a loving brother, as a wonderful husband, and then a very caring father. But it was only about a year ago that, to my surprise, I discovered the poet in Rajesh when he started sending me his poetry. And these poems are very, very much like he is. I mean, I knew him as somebody who is very even-tempered and very wise and good. But it was through his poems I discovered this poetic side. And this poetic side is basically his poems are very simple. They begin with very ordinary things like looking at a mango tree in his backyard, or taking his baby infant grandson for a walk in his garden. They begin very simply in that way, and then go on to very deep questions about our life on earth, and how we come full circle to our beginnings, to the sadness and joy of living. And each of his poems is a gem. So I'm very glad to be able to say a few words about them.
Thank you, madam. Now it's time to hear from Ms. Susie B. Varghese. She's an avid reader. She served in the Indian Revenue Service. After a prolonged career recently as Chief Income Tax Commissioner, she's a person with great knowledge of literature. She's now a practicing lawyer and is now joining us from Kochi. Let's hear from Ms. Susie B. Varghese.
Rajshekaran, I must say, I'm really impressed by this little book of poems brought out by you. And it's indeed amazing when you say that this is your first publication. And much more amazing when we read that the poet started writing poetry after the age of 60. Mighty congratulations. I have gone through this little book and I'm impressed by the deep philosophical bent of mind of the poet. Now, the title itself is Dewdrop and Banyan Tree. There's so much of weight of meaning in these few words. A dewdrop, which is so transient, which is so effervescent, which is so achingly beautiful, but temporary, juxtaposed against the banyan tree, the kalp vriksha, the tree of wish fulfillment, the tree of longevity. So there you have transience juxtaposed with perhaps eternity. I'm much amazed and by this bent of thought in the poet. And of course, the anthology begins with a ode or a praise invocating Lord Krishna, and at the same time remembering the poet's mother. In fact, when we read through the poems, we can really understand the impression that the parents have left behind in their son. He so much remembers them. Both of them, I understand, were poets themselves. The second poem is, of course, the title poem, Dewdrop and the Banyan Tree, where the poet talks about the little dewdrop which falls down softly and the banyan tree and the banyan leaf exclaiming, "Can I ever dream of a life so short and sweet as yours?" And when you go through the entire poems, one is impressed by his love for nature, the trees, the lakes, the green paddy fields, the flowers, the butterflies. All this is deep in the psyche of the poet when he remembers his ancient village, the thatched house of his grandfather, where he used to spend his early days. And there are many other poems where he remembers his childhood, where the child plays with a little paper boat. This child is so much immersed in the game, the playing with the boat, when the mother scolds him or rather takes him back inside, thinking that he'll fall ill. Now, this itself takes the reader back to their own childhood, where the mother has always behaved in the same manner, yelling out to the child to get in when it is raining. Then what has otherwise impressed me is how the poet is able to enter the minds of different kinds of people from different walks of life. You have the soldier for whom it was the first time to perhaps shoot a person. Then you have the doctor who's operating on a soldier, what crosses his mind during that time. And of course, then there is a poem about the Pope, which is now set in the current situation of Italy during the pandemic. The Pope walks through the empty streets and he has to chant the Mass alone, and the deep anxiety or the deep pain in him when he says that, like a candle melting, the Pope cries. Readers are left with pathos, we think of what's happening in this world. And what matters most is how the poet is able to encapsulate such deep thought into such simple lyrical verses. The language is very simple, but the thoughts, the imagery is very deep. And then, of course, what brings a smile to our faces is the little prince, as he calls him, the poet's grandson. The poet's grandson clinging to his neck with a small arm around him. What lovely images. Dear Rajshekharan, this poem is bound to impress every reader. It brings to mind, when we read each word, the images which you are trying to tell us. You have really succeeded in bringing this out. Congratulations, and may you bring out more such verses. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for the lovely introduction into the insight of the poems. And I'm sure the readers will enjoy the collection of poems in this book. Thank you once again, madam. And as the last part of the evening, we now have our very own poet, Ramachandran Rajashekharan, who will address us to thank the people present here and all the well-wishers. Over to you, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Give us a minute.
Friends, today is a day you can imagine happy and emotional and excited. This is because I lived in a profession so technical, which required so much of knowledge updation, totally immersed in that world, totally passionate about that. I never realized that poems will flow from my brain, flow from my pen at any stage. Probably what inspired me to write was an event which occurred on my 60th birthday years back, when my colleagues, juniors, and students gifted me a scroll that was penned by somebody who knew how to write poetry. When I read that, I wanted to thank them. That night I composed my first poem, but never had the courage to do so, the courage of conviction that I can convey my thoughts. But slowly I used to jot my thoughts in my mobile notepads during my travels, my free time, and used to share it with my close friends and relatives. And their feedback naturally encouraged. My professional mentor, VCG, only gave me the first thought that one day you can publish them as your random thoughts. And today is that day. Today, the words said by him, N.S. Madhavan, my friend beyond the realms of poetry, Robin Selters, Geetanjali Kapoor, and Susi Varghese, Sheila Reddy, they are all people of repute in their own chosen field. They are all writers in their own way. They are all knowledgeable people in their own way. They have already earned an acclaim in that. At this moment, I have to thank all my friends, particularly in all poetry, who have supported and encouraged me to write. Whatever I am, the professional or the poet, I owe it to my parents. I don't venture to speak about them, because that would make me emotional. But I've remembered them, and my poems are entirely the reflection of what they have conveyed to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the culminating words. And I'm sure you will go places, and wishing you all the very best to etch more such creative assets to the world. With this, the function is coming to an end. We request all of you to read the book, which is now available in Amazon internationally and in all e-platforms in India, including Amazon. I, Jojo, thank all the guests who have joined us today, signing off, and wish you all a nice evening. Requesting the host to unmute for fellowship. Vivek. Vivek.
Yes, sir. All participants can unmute themselves now. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Congrats, sir. Congrats very much.
Rajesh, this is from Malaysia. Pradeep here. Congratulations. I really enjoyed the whole ceremony. Congratulations.
Hello, Rajesh. Chitra here. Hearty congratulations and looking forward to seeing more poems from you, poetry collections from you. Thank you.
Rajesh Shetta the Kichuana. Congratulations, Rajesh Shetta, and very happy birthday.
Hi Rajesh, it's Balu here from Hong Kong. Congratulations. I've seen a few snippets of your poems. Really looking forward to getting the book on hand. Enjoy reading it.
Hi Rashidan, happy birthday and congratulations for this compilation of this poem. All the best to you, and we look forward to many such collections. All the best, Rashidan.
Hi Rashidan. We in Varma, all the partners of Varma are very proud of you to have a great poet in our midst. Wish you all the very best. May God help you to go further heights as a great poet. Happy birthday too.
Good evening, Rajshekharan sir. Excellent set of words from crunching numbers. Now you're coming to crunching words, and it's been excellently penned, published. It looks wonderful. I've already had the Kindle version. I've read through. Hope to see more such offerings from you. Thank you very much. And all the very best. Happy birthday once more.
Happy birthday, Rashidan. Congratulations. Fabulous book. I'm one of the very few people, because I'm outside Kerala, who has read that book in full. I think it's a great effort, and congratulations to the publishers. Very beautiful cover. Everything is so nice about it. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rajshekharan. Heartiest congratulations and a very happy birthday, and many more. Never knew you were a poet. All the best.
Hi Rajshekharan. I'm John from Dubai. Happy birthday to you, and I wish all the best for your new endeavor.
Good evening, Rajshekharan. I'm Shashidaran Pillai here. Happy birthday to you and all the very best. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. This is Captain Ramesh Babu calling from Mumbai. Heartiest congratulations both on your book and on your birthday. I have to quickly lay my hands on your book, and I think you've been kind enough to bring it out at the most appropriate time when I'm leaving the city and resettling back in Kerala. I'm sure you'll be able to rekindle a lot of nostalgia, the village nostalgia in that book for readers like me. Thanks a lot, sir, and great to.
Good evening, sir. This is Fizo from Mumbai. Congratulations, sir, and happy birthday.
Sir, I'm Paul Ranjan from Cochin Shipyard. Wishing you all the best on your birthday and congratulations on your new, what you call, profession or all the best, sir.
I think if the wishings are over, Vivek, can we close the meeting? Unless and until Rajshekaran sir wants to thank everybody.
Yes, he wanted to speak a few words. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all for your kind words. I request, I'm overwhelmed with the support from all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajata.
Thank you, sir. Shall we close?
Shall we close, sir?
Yes.
Vivek.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye.